essence of BNT is. They are good apart, but better together. They're about teamwork, make the dream work. D was this lonely guy who needed love. And he fell in love with this amazing woman who brought happiness to his life, of course. That's his story, and I'm sticking to it. D and T, they met. They had to stare off. It was pretty cool, to be honest. They grew this connection with each other that, had them like, if one was doing something, it's like, I have to talk to that other one. We were partners before we were actually partners. And it was one of those deep connections that, it's just somebody you have to talk to every day, even if, you don't have anything to talk about. Talk to every day, even if, you don't have anything to talk about. You just have to create a conversation. So it grew, and their connection grew, and now they're in it for the long haul, and they're in it to win, and they believe that if they're in it to win, then of course there's other couples out there that's in it for the same reason. So their relationship is not just built on just DT. Their relationship is built on seeing others grow in relationship and happiness, business-wise, whatever, and it doesn't come without obstacles, but they are teaching each other how to get through those obstacles and how to.
Yeah.
We're live. What's up? What's good? And I'm happy. How about you?
I'm excited.
Oh,
I'm excited.
Yeah, it's been such a long time, and I'm just glad that we're able to come and talk to the people and do what we do best and just be real.
I'm all about being real, even when it gets me in trouble.
I think I stay in trouble more than anybody else. Listen, if you guys are on, do us a favor, like, share, let the people know this couple's back. They're live. D&T, listen, we are live.
It has been maybe a year and a half since the radio
Yeah.
show. A year and a half.
I'm wondering, I'm seeing there's a lot of people that's on, but y'all do us a favor. We're on 3 different platforms. We're on Periscope, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we on Yo TV, we on everything. Everything. I know y'all listen. I know y'all miss us. She's the cool, calm, collective, crazy one, and I'm just random.
You're very much so random. You're very much so out the box random. Yeah.
So if you haven't done it yet, start hitting that like button. Before we go anywhere else, I need to start seeing hearts going up, lights going up, thumbs going up. Hit that like button, share it. Some of y'all start a watch party. Listen, it's 7 o'clock here in Cali, 9 o'clock out there in Central Time, and 10 o'clock out there in the East Coast. Either way it goes, it's some good
It's a Friday night, so everybody's like, wait, it is Friday, right?
Yes, Friday.
Okay.
We are date night.
That's cute.
How about that? Yeah, we are date night. So get y'all, turn off the lights.
Oh.
Get your cup of noodles. I'm just saying. I'm just glad to be back on. Listen, we already got folk.
Hi you guys.
Man,
look at all those hearts.
That's what I'm saying. I'm feeling the love. Do you feel the love, baby?
I do.
Yeah, I am excited, y'all. And so Mitchell's already clowning. Our daughter's on.
My sis is at, that's all.
I know her. Nikita saying, "Hey, now she's blowing our hearts and thumbs up."
Oh, thank you.
Oh, wait, the House of the Allens is on. Shantae and them on.
Allen, all
come
the way
on,
in Texas.
I'm still waiting for us to actually do something together.
And they just had a baby.
They had a baby.
Surprise! They just had a baby. Like surprise.
I ain't gonna lie. Mark was like, "Hold up. When did she get pregnant?"
When did she?
And so, listen, I'm excited about the show tonight.
Yeah,
we got a couple that's coming on, and
real quick. Honestly love this couple. I really do.
Well, what you love about this couple?
Which couple?
Us.
Oh, okay. Not the face. We all right. I mean, you know, a little rough around the edges. But we cool or whatever.
You cute though, you know. I don't get how y'all could just throw anything on your head and make it look good.
This has been faithful to me for years.
It takes me about 10 minutes to figure out what hat to wear, to choose, to
and then you leave it up to me to choose.
Yeah. That's how it's supposed to go.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Oh, you cute. For real, listen, y'all, we'd have been through.
Why are you licking your lips?
Because you're next to me, and you know, just the thoughts of you and just having your energy so close to me just make me. But I'm not gonna go there tonight because you know we got
company.
We got company. We got to be somewhere good. We got listen. Have y'all shared the show yet? We waiting on y'all to share the show. Hit share. Y'all ain't shared it yet. Y'all ain't showing no love. But listen. We're gonna. Somebody said you just glowing.
Who, me?
Have anybody seen a video that I done? I should play that, but I'm not. But I will. But I am. But I should.
They've seen it. You put it on all platforms.
Every platform I can find.
Yeah, you did. They've seen it already.
Oh man, listen. LaShonda is on. You know, you watch their church every single Sunday. Jubilee, yeah. We want them on. Yeah. All right. Let's talk because we're gonna get you guys on. All right. I'm saying. So listen, I am waiting for the day to come. Matter of fact, this is that day.
Okay.
Yeah. The day is this. That I tell my wife something that she have not heard.
Oh my God.
And I'm about to tell her.
Oh Lord.
You know what?
Okay, you already know I've been working on my words because
should we give that disclaimer?
We should give it
See,
many of videos and many of radio shows that we've done, I've had to have.
She's a little rough around the edges.
I've gotten in trouble, and he's not here. I've gotten in trouble by the late Bishop PG Sr. for my words. You know, learning how to use my my verbal.
Listen, she's my ghetto queen.
I will shoot a word.
Beauty she is.
Yeah. So y'all pray for me because I'm gonna keep my right on my tongue.
Yeah, you know, we're gonna get through this. It's gonna be a good show.
It's just that I like to, you know, I used to do a little have a, you know.
She got some hood in her. Yeah. So, you know, we're gonna work on her. The Lord is working on her, and I'm looking forward to it. Okay, so listen, y'all. This show tonight. The time forgot it that quick. The naked conversation. All right.
Is this what you have to tell me though? Something
I did have something to tell you, but I figure I need to wait.
Why?
Because I like to keep you on your toes.
You do, see, that's the problem.
See, I caught your attention.
I want to know now.
You know, when I first met you, it was my words that got you. You walked in the room.
Oh my Lord.
You saw somebody like me and you fell in love. And that's my story. Y'all heard what she said in the beginning. That video, what she said, let me say that. What she said wasn't true. When I walked in, when she walked in, she just fell in love. She was just like, I gotta have that man. And it was right then and there when I knew I had her. And that's her truth. And I'm gonna stick to it. So listen, y'all. We got special guests on. I love them.
That didn't happen at all.
Y'all see that face? You see that face? You see that face? Mitchell's already messing our title up.
Oh Lord.
He's already messed our title up. Before I even go there, we're gonna bring on this couple. Listen, they are dynamic, they're real, they're relevant, they're young, old. They're
we trying to bring them on, not dial them out, okay?
Okay, I'm just saying. But they're if y'all can see their reaction when they heard me say young, old. But they have so much going on. I appreciate. We love them, and they are. I guess just a couple that's going to keep it real. So let me stop talking because I'm horrible at introductions. So go ahead, baby, take over. Bring them out.
I almost want to. We like to present to some and introduce to others.
We're horrible anyway. The Hills.
Hey.
What's going on?
Hello.
Allen Family D and T.
We're
I
live
need you
with
to
them.
clarify what is young old.
Yeah.
We
need some
need
clarity.
clarification on that.
Yeah, go ahead. Clarify that.
The young old part. See what had happened was that see, you guys are senior, but you're young.
What?
You're senior to us, but you're young. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all ain't old. I ain't saying you old. I'm just saying you
You keep digging yourself deeper and deeper in this hole.
You making us seem like we the mother and father of the church.
I mean, really, like.
I guess that kind of do sound bad, huh?
Yes. What's wrong with you?
See, what had happened was
nothing had happened.
I'm just saying. Anyways, y'all listen.
It can't even be fixed. So just let it go and not say it again.
So this is our first show. So we want officially, our second season, but first show of this season. We want to welcome you guys being our first guests and welcome to D&T Live. Yeah.
We're excited to be here. We really are. We apologize for the view, the lighting, but we're not in our normal studio at home, so we're trying to make it work. We're trying to make it work. So, but we're glad to be here, man. I loved your intro, man, and how Lady T just fell head over heels for you, man. I understand that.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying. You know, truth that finally came out. The truth. Go ahead, talk, guys.
You see this look, don't you? I'm getting like
it's the same way. They both of them looking at the same way.
See?
Delusional. Just delusional.
To your audience as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Do us a favor. Tell us about you guys, your ministry, your kids, all 10 of them. Talk to us. That is true.
We count Brandon kids. Yeah, we got about 10.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Go ahead, baby.
So, we've been together altogether 20 years. We've been married 19 years. Together we have 4 kids, 3 adoptive children, 4 grandchildren,
one on the way.
One on the way.
You say you got one on the way? Oh, grandchildren.
We don't.
We got
a grand on the way.
A grandchild on the way. Let's clarify. Clarify. It's a grand on the way.
You have to take his glasses off on that one.
The Lord can still do it. Just lift your hands.
What are you doing?
No, we're not lifting.
We're
not lifting our hands on that. We're not. We're not lifting our hands on that. And our church is in Lexington, North Carolina. We've been there for 6 years.
Wow.
Okay. He's about the lightning is bothering him. So we've been there 6 years. We are busy with our ministry, working, school, trying to deal with this new normal in the world. Just we're actually right now. The reason we're not at home is this is the weekend of our marriage conference. So tonight was our first night, and we'll finish up tomorrow. We love doing this. We love love. We love relationships. We love seeing people be successful in their relationships, and we do try to be as transparent, because we realize that people go into marriage thinking that it's a fairy tale, and that it's just we're just gonna be skipping in a garden, and that's not. I mean, it's just not what it is. You have your beautiful times, but you have to put in work. And how we got here was that we realized that when we got married, we had premarital counseling.
We did.
But it was very surface. Very surface.
Wow.
And we went through some very rocky times in our marriage, and we had to go through counseling, and we realized that a lot of stuff we just were not prepared for. And we decided that when we got over that hump and were on the road to recovery in our marriage, we wanted to help people by being very real about what it's about. And not that we have all the answers, but helping people learn from some of the mistakes and the pitfalls that we along the way.
Yeah, and it's been it's a journey. It's a lifelong journey. It's not something that you just tip your toe in, and if the water too hot, you come back out, or if it's too cold, you wait a little bit.
Yeah.
No, you got to put both feet in, and you got to go at it. You have to go in it, and with the intention of, I'm gonna make this thing work till hell or high water. We gonna work it out regardless of what it is, and it takes. On our journey, we learned that regardless of what happens, we would always have each other's back. And so it's been a great journey. It ain't always been an easy journey, but it's been a journey nonetheless,
Yeah. Wow. And we say the naked conversations because, like a lot of people have a hard time having real conversations and keeping it, to the point to where somebody can actually get something from it. And so I think that just hearing you guys saying, it was rough, it was rocky. The first question that I just want to ask and just go straight there is, how can a couple get past, I want to walk out?
Woo. Depending on, well, not necessarily depending on the circumstances.
Yeah.
But one of the questions that we often ask every couple that we either have counseled, recounseled, recounseled, or just in general conversation, one of the things that we ask them is, do you want your marriage to work?
Wow.
Because if you have one party fighting and the other party not fighting, then you're in a losing battle, you know. But it takes both parties admitting to each other,
Yeah.
not just to your friends or whomever, but literally admitting to your spouse that I want my marriage to work. Then I think that is the starting block for us, because that tells us how much work they're going to have to put into it. And but it also lets them know that how much work we have to invest to get you all back on track again too. So, do you want
Wow.
your marriage to work? That
Yeah.
that is the number one question that we ask.
You
It's
want
the
it to work.
starting point.
Yeah.
Wow. And you know, I think when you ask that question, do you want it to work? I think that's kind of something to that makes somebody wonder, do I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
are we walking out because is it fear? Is it because I'm tired? You know, what's
I
some
think you have to get past. I believe in my own personal way. Like we said earlier, no one here, is we give advice based on what we've been through.
yeah.
Yeah.
But for me, it's one of those. I was the one that always wanted to walk out, and it was based on the emotions and how I felt. Because once those emotions calm down, it's like I don't want to go anywhere. I just want this to stop. You know. So once the one thing, how can I say it? And some people, the biggest mistake we make is making that huge decision while we're emotionally hurting,
Wow.
angry, upset. And the fact that the reaction that we're giving to the action or whatever it was that was taken was, I can't do this. I'm about to walk out. And when we walk out, we sit there and think, was this the right decision? Because was my emotions overturned everything.
Wow.
So the one thing I am learning, because I said it, and one thing about me, I'm just as transparent. I'll admit to Takika was the one that I'm not going to do this, so I'm about to leave because I don't want to be with you while I'm like this. So I'm going to walk out the door, and I don't want to come back. And um, once that emotion is over, it's like I never meant that. It's just one of those. I don't want to be. I don't like intense stuff because it makes me angry that we're at this point. So it's
Wow.
like for me, anything that I can help with in telling any woman, because what I think some men don't realize is that we get overwhelmed with emotions. For a man, from what I've seen, I'm only speaking on my own vision of what I've seen, they can come off cool, calm, collective, maybe upset about things and be like, man, I'm done with it. It could be just so mellow and so cool, no voices raised or anything.
Wow.
For a woman, it hits differently. So us saying, I'm walking out, forget this, I'm done, and all this stuff is because it's been bottled up. So when you take that top off, there's an explosion. But at the end of that explosion, it's just like a volcano or anything else that explodes. It's always a calm down.
Yeah.
Like everything is running over now. What do you do? And it's a fear. To me, it's just a fear of maybe I should just walk out and deal with this. And no one actually, you can read books on it or whatever you want to do. But at the end of the day, our first thought is not calm down because that's not what you want. It's, I want to escape. So we have to for me, I pray that a lot of women don't speak that in their emotions. Yeah. And that's going to be a hard thing to do, but that's my thing.
Yeah. One of the things that we talk about a lot now, it used to not, you used to didn't hear this phrase, but I'm glad you talked about emotions. It's this thing called emotional intelligence. And a lot of times, because I used to hate this term, I hated this term when people would say you in your feelings. I hated it.
Yeah.
Absolutely hated that term because your feelings are valid, your emotions are valid. We were created with emotions.
Right.
We were, but what I did realize is this: we have to be in control of our emotions and our emotions not in control of us.
Right.
That's good.
And that's where the emotional intelligence is that as women, because we are emotional, and a lot of times, and this is very true, if being real, a lot of times it's not even just emotional, it's hormonal.
Mm-hmm.
And so all of that can play into it. So if you're already naturally an emotional person, and then if you have some type of hormonal imbalance, and it's not always just that time of the month, it
Right.
could be it could be a number of reasons why that is the truth. It could be your diet. It could be some type of deficiency. It could be
Yeah.
anything. And um, so what we have to understand, we have to still own it
Yeah.
and really look at how we handle certain situations. One of the things we talk about a lot is triggers. We know each other's triggers. We know
Mm-hmm.
what set each other off. So one, we have to be each other have to be mindful of that.
Yeah.
But if you know your triggers, you have to own that to say, I'm not gonna allow myself to go here. And it's like being intentional about it. And it sometimes you hit it and sometimes you miss it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just being conscious of it.
Right.
Well, someone had just posted and said, my dad did. He's watching. He
Yes.
said intentional in the understanding that we be aware that it will be a learning shift of
Yeah.
knowing when to hold and when to release. Rob, let me ask you this: How um, how if you could speak from the position of the frustration of trying to understand, but knowing when it ain't for me to understand. I need to get this point across. I need to stand. Uh, I need to make a stand because there's a lot of men that's more like, okay, I don't want to just always understand because you always, And the moment when I speak my mind, now I'm the bad guy.
Well, you said naked, didn't you? Didn't you, Bishop? I want to sleep good tonight. No, no. A lot of it. Um, for me, this is my second marriage, um, and even during our engagement period, Mel would always say, "Well, you know how to be a husband. I've never been a wife."
Come on.
So for me, um, to to get my point across, I've learned um, not to yell to get my point across. I can catch more bees with honey than I can with vinegar.
Well, hold on. Now we've been naked tonight. Now, speak to us. What you mean by? Do you say you don't yell or you learn not to yell? Have you
I learned
mastered?
not to. I learned not to yell.
As often.
And sometimes it gets, see, her yelling. I mean, my yelling and her definition of me yelling is two different things. I, I am a bald 6'4", 265-pound black man with
Yeah,
a deep voice, and I'm a preacher, so I know how to project my voice. That ain't yelling.
that ain't
That's
yelling.
just
Come
getting my
on,
point across.
it's projecting.
See, it's
It's not.
projecting. But really, what I have learned is this, and what I would suggest is this: um, we believe in partnership, And
Okay.
although we understand the biblical definition, of course, the man being the head of the house and all this other good stuff, you know, I know that my wife is my biggest uh, cheerleader, but
Come
she's
on.
also my biggest critic too. So I have learned to listen to her advice,
Okay.
and I still try and make the best, even if I don't agree with it, I still try and make the best decision that I can in a not diplomatic way, but in a way that it gets my point across. And sometimes that goes across easy, and
Okay.
sometimes it doesn't. I don't pull rank, you know. I don't pull dictatorship or anything like that. But really, I have learned one. Yes, I've learned not to yell because it doesn't get me anywhere.
Okay.
For one, I know my spouse. I know my wife. She is going to tune out. She's going to tune out, and she's going to retreat. So I'm just up there really yelling. I'm fighting by myself, because she's
Wow.
not going to fight with that.
Wow.
So
It-
I've learned to engage her by being model toned,
mhm.
but I've also had to be projective in my tone to let her understand my stance.
Yeah.
And when she starts kicking back, then I know that I'm on the right track. So uh, it, but really, in all seriousness, it's about for us, it's about understanding and how to um, uh, as preachers, we learn how to read people and read emotions. And we sometimes overdo it at home because we spend so much time with our spouses, and that could be good and bad, you know. But
Yeah.
I've learned to, um, I've learned to know when to bring something up and when not to bring something up. I
Okay.
have
So
to
look,
pick the I have to pick the right timing.
there's a statement.
Hormones can be a reason. Sometimes they just mean and hateful.
Now that's from Dr. Cynthia Taylor. Um, but I'm assuming she's saying from the woman, y'all just being mean and hateful because your hormones is just crazy and out of whack.
Um, I don't, I don't
Okay,
know
I
if
literally don't think that's what she meant.
I was gonna say I don't think so, and I say that because having. So let me go back. I want to even respond to what Rob was talking about. So
okay,
being very transparent. So I battle with very severe anxiety. So he's very aware of that.
okay,
And that took a long, that was something we had to battle
Work through.
through.
Yeah.
We had to work through that.
Yep.
So one, he's aware of that. He's also aware of, I didn't come from a family that we didn't yell, we didn't deal with, like we didn't do conflict where they were they're in your face yelling, screaming, and so I didn't come from that. So so one, I shut down, one because I'm not used to that if he starts yelling, and two because my it that like makes me extremely anxious, and so he has to be, he's aware of that, and so we've had to navigate through that, and I, because I mean it just it's times, but what I also learned when you talking about hormones, so I say to that because a lot of times there truly is like vitamin deficiency. Sometimes women don't get enough magnesium,
wow,
which helps with their hormonal balance, especially during certain cycles in the month. So magnesium, vitamin D, especially with African American women, we have a lot of vitamin deficiencies. So it really is, we don't look at a lot of the holistic stuff, and please trust, I'm not like a holistic person. I still eat pork. I'm still gonna have my bacon, and I'm not like so. I'm not like some health nut, but I read a lot. I read a lot, and I look up things so because I want to know. One, because of the anxiety medication I have to take. I don't want to be on it for the rest of my life, so I'm always looking at alternative ways. And so in reading, I find out different things. And so a lot of times, how we react is not always, I mean, I still think we have control over it, but a lot of times we haven't been taught how to control it
Wow.
because in our communities, most of the time we are still, and we've heard this time and time again, we're not real far away from slavery, Jim Crow, civil, that whole thing. We're not far from it. And if you think about what our ancestors before us, they didn't seek mental health. They didn't have the information to them. So what has happened is we are products of generations of people who probably had a lot of these issues but didn't know how to handle it, and they did the best that they could because they had to survive. So they couldn't give what wasn't in them. Mm-hmm. They couldn't give. You can't put out what's not in you. So now we are more learned, but we're trying to catch up and get the help and get the tools, but we're still trying to learn that. So a lot of times we don't know
Wow.
how to deal with that. So, you know, if you grew up in the house where your mama may have come in and just going off on everybody for whatever reason, didn't know how to show didn't know how to control that,
Yeah.
and if that's all
that's what you're gonna give
that's
out.
what you're gonna give out.
Yeah.
Wow. And now I do want to say this, and it's in the comments too, that I I do know that men also have somewhat of the same issues when it comes, with the deficiencies. But not only that, again, we keep it naked. A lot of times, it's just because we ain't got none, Doc.
Yeah, I mean that plays a lot into it too. But it's a whole lot of other a whole lot of other things that lead up into that. So you know during those months when neither party has gotten any,
Come on.
you know, we both on edge.
Ah,
But a lot of times it's because the other party don't want it. Because I was talking with a couple, and one of them said, I could really go without if he don't ask.
Wow.
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 Okay.
They need to change the dynamic.
Well,
Like now that's just purely selfish and scandalous. But let me say this though. Did if he went in that situation knowing she was like that,
Yeah.
what could you do? But there's things that I know that happens. Like for a minute, my wife dealt with what was it called? I say it wrong. She had the IUD. Now that was a hater. I went through a season where it got in the way, Doc, and it wouldn't happen, right? But I was using that as a example how a lot of it, and this is where we kind of gonna jaywalk and kind of deal with what we did on Sunday and talk about knowing how we know the person that we're with.
Yeah.
And if I didn't understand, for example, her love language, if I didn't understand that for her is more than just a sexual thing,
Right.
if I didn't know how to make love to her mind, I mean, flirting with her from while she's at work to coming home.
Yeah. Yeah.
With my wife, sex start from conversation.
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
It's very important. And the other thing too is we all like we've been together 19 years, and some things you need early on, and it's very different now. We realize, and the thing of it is, and I don't know if God just have a sense of humor. I know he does, because men and women have sexual peaks at different times.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And so,
That's
you
true.
know, our libidos go up and down. We all go on these different cycles, and then things happen. Life happens, and you don't know. So anything can affect it. Like you said, your wife was on the IUD. Certain medications can affect a person,
Yeah.
male and
And male, female.
female.
Yeah.
So it's so many things. The thing is, when that happens, you have to talk about it, because if you don't talk about it, then there's really gonna be an issue.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like you need to ask what's happening here. And we had to do that one time because we got so busy.
Yeah.
At the time, my job, the job I was working, it wasn't anything for me to work 12 to 14 hours a day, sometimes 6 days a week. Then there was ministry. I'm school. Our daughter's in school. She had activities, so we were going. And when we got home, we was crashing. It took
Wow.
everything for us just to. And then one day, and we still doing marriage ministry. And one day I said, okay, we helping everybody else. What's going on here?
Wow.
Because, like, and it wasn't like anything was wrong, but it
Yeah.
wasn't necessarily right either, because we didn't have a connection. We weren't connected. And I mean, we had to have a serious. I was like, when the last time, we've been together? Like, dude, what's going on here?
And
Like
some
that.
people think that's not real. That's
It's very real.
that's
It's
Go ahead,
absolutely.
man.
It's a reality, man. We get caught up with everything else.
yeah.
Um, and days turn into weeks, weeks turn into months, and next thing you know, man, damn near 6 months done went by. You're like, what the hell happened? You know, oh, I'm sorry, Bishop.
No, you good, Doc. Hey,
Yeah.
hey,
My bad.
You
My
good.
husband.
man. Now you said months though. I'll say that after next week.
This man will say it can be 2 days, and he'll be like,
It's
"It's been
been 2
45
months.
days since we had." I'm like, "It's been 2 days." He said, "It's been
But
103
But the
days."
thing of it is, when you know what you're used to,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's good that you will speak up then,
yeah,
instead of letting it
just linger.
linger, and then you're like, oh well, I better say something. Now say something when you realize something is wrong. I mean immediately, because sex is something we tell people, sex is not the thing, but it is the thing, because
So you connect
it's
back
where
at.
you can connect. If you can't connect anywhere else, so like if you're not popping anywhere else, sometimes that's where the one place you can connect, and then maybe we can work on everything. If you just happen to be having like one of them off moments in your
But
marriage.
hold on now. You just said sometimes sex could be the thing that connects, could be the only thing for a certain season, right? But see, now the other part to that is that not you and not you, babe.
Mm-hmm.
But there is some women out there that will say it ain't just all about sex. But if that's the connecting part,
So here's the other thing, and I saw somebody alluded to this. I saw something about sexual trauma. There's
yeah,
some. So I won't even go into trauma necessarily, but I was talking to a group of women probably last year, and here's the thing with sex and women, especially women that grew up in church.
yeah,
Mm,
Um, so the
okay.
problem is a lot of times with sex and women that especially that grew up in church,
touch the
we
subject.
we were never told
She
that.
saved some marriages that day.
we were never told.
No, I'm serious. She really did.
Yeah. We were never told that sex was good. It was always to women, stay away, it's bad, it's nasty, because we were younger. And that was the message. Stay away, it's nasty, fast girls do it.
Yep.
It was just all this bad stuff. No one ever talked about the beautiful side of sex. And
Wow.
that we were created to enjoy sex, to have sex, and that, within the marriage, that the marriage bed is undefiled and that you can enjoy sex. So even though they would tell you to wait until marriage, that was the only thing they said. But every other commentary around sex, especially to women, was negative.
What
So even then, once you
should
get
sex
into,
education be a part of a Christian talk?
absolutely, because what happens is, so then these same women, when they get married, even if they didn't save themselves, so let me be clear on that. But even when they get married, there's still subconsciously a negative connotation around sex, even though they're in a right relationship. But because sex has always been taught in a negative way, and not that it's beautiful, not that it needs to be enjoyed, not, all everything else, they are sometimes frigid, don't want to have it, they're not open, and or they don't enjoy it. So then their husbands, who may not, probably most men, they get the sex talk, but not as negative as women. So when they get married, they're expecting a freak in the bed, a lady in the streets, but that ain't what they getting, because
Yeah.
she hasn't been taught about that. And so
Wow.
then he's frustrated because he want her swinging on the chandeliers, and she coming to bed in flannel because she don't know how to be free. So that's some other
But
issues
when
with
my
it.
experiences don't match your dream.
Yes.
But hold on, y'all. The chats is listen. They're crazy in these comments. Let me read some comments real quick. Uh, uh, Tanya said, "Sex has been a taboo subject in our community."
Mm-hmm.
Someone else said, "If sex is all that attracted you, that relationship is already in trouble." Now I'm gonna talk on that now. Let me keep reading. Let me keep reading. If all you okay, never mind.
What?
My crazy father said, "Let's get it on."
No, it's not.
Oh, that's all. Let's get on. Okay, well, yeah. Uh, and then they said the total opposite has been taught to men. Then my dad is still going.
The total opposite to me.
He just said, "Turn off,
Turn off the lights.
turn the lights out." I
And
think he
light a
got the words
candle.
wrong.
Yeah.
It's turn off the lights. Anyway,
Oh my God.
go ahead. What you say?
For me, I totally agree with what Lady Hill was saying. Even at in my age, I mean, I'm just 42, but all we were told was the bad things about sex. But for some women, some young girls who hear the bad thing about sex and they go on in life, and what is supposed to be good is turned into bad for them, that they enjoy it.
Wow.
So now that you've taught me the negative about sex, and the
Wow.
fact that that's a thrill for me,
Wow.
that's what
I expect.
I'm looking for everybody to want good sex from me, but treat me badly, because the only thing I've been told was sex is bad. You don't need it. You're not supposed
That's right.
to have it. It's nasty and all this stuff. So
Wow.
all the stuff you're telling me that it is, I want to become, because I want to feel that what you're talking about. So we become this type of way. We become that type of way, because
Exactly.
we put ourselves with the men that match what
Talk,
I
baby.
want mentally, sexually.
right.
Wow.
That's what you disturbed me
That's
with.
right.
And that's how we get the young women that we get. For me, my grandmother was more I call myself now a person that's victorious over rape and over being molested and all these things. And in that area of sex, for me, it scared me. It scared me because scary people did things to me. That's what I'm expecting whoever I'm with to do to me, the scary things. And that is a mental, emotional challenge that most women, especially Black women, have. Because you look in, and it's nothing against, let me not say church, but if you look in a society of Black women, even back from slavery, we were raped, whether it was by the white man or whether it was by their own husbands at times out of anger. Rape happened. So what we knew was take it rough, take it from her, get it from her. She has no say in it, and that's it. Me being victorious over those situations, that's what I thought was how sex was supposed to be. Not intimate, not telling me you love me, whispering you love me in my ear, not kissing me on the neck and making me feel all these different type of things on the inside of me that makes me crave you. But I was expecting throw me on the bed, grab me and do stuff, then leave me alone, and I'm turned over on the other side of the bed trying to figure the rest of my life out because I gave you what I didn't want to give you because what happened to me. The thing about it is that what makes me sad in our Black community is that we've been through too much for you to put a top on sex is nasty and leave it at that, because we don't know the mental capacity that the women have, and we don't know the capacity that men have, because they could have been raised by single mothers who they seen, like my children, when I was married before, and what they seen of their mom after getting a divorce from their dad was, I went on multiple dates. I would let certain men in my house, and they were getting upset because it's like, why are you letting this man? They will watch men dominate me and tell me what they don't like about me, but not one time have I ever heard, this is what I love about you. Wow. So whatever guy I was with in that season, just take it, because that's all you want anyway. Just take it and go about your business and go be with who you really want to be with, because I know it's not me. And in the middle of all that, in my head, wow, he's done with me, I'm rolled over thinking about that man that will love me enough to make love to me. Don't just make love to me, sexually. Make love to me mentally. Make love to me.
That's right.
Make love to me to make me feel like I'm that woman for you. And that's how I feel like I've always been a transparent person with this. And a lot of people have never really liked the way that I talk because it triggers things that they don't want to talk about because it takes away from who they're with. I know women today that tell me, you have to slow down on how you're talking because people can take it as such. No, you're telling me to slow down how I'm talking because if you agreeing with me, that means the man that's taking advantage of you right now, you will look at him differently and you will see yourself in the mirror. You can't get married with all that on you, because what you're doing is you're placing it in a marriage that you want happiness, but you haven't dealt with the actual things in your head and who you are, who you were then. Like I don't, sex, growing up, hearing sex was like, it was a curse word.
That's right.
You wasn't allowed to curse. Like in my family, we wasn't allowed to say lie. We only have to say tell a story.
That's right.
I'm 42, and if I walk in my aunt's face and say, that person was lying, and before she even look at me, I'll correct myself. Oops, I mean telling a story. That's how sex was like. Yeah. With our children, we talk about sex with them because they live in a world where it's freely done. Mm-hmm. So what are you saving for your marriage if you're giving it all to a person that doesn't deserve it?
Wow.
Yep. That's good.
That's amazing. No, really. Because you don't hear that kind of transparency.
Yeah.
Especially for the world to view and judge. That transparency comes from a place of overcoming.
That's right.
Yeah, that's powerful. God, I need a book out of y'all.
Everybody keeps saying that.
It's amazing though, hearing her story and living it, and knowing that there's some times and things to where places to where I have to be sensitive to her past, to her experiences. You know, it's one thing to be with somebody and don't know their history, and you wonder why um, they react a certain way. There could be triggers. You know, if you don't take time out to figure out the person that you with triggers, you could trigger it and don't know that you are. Um, and I had even, you know, there was a time when she had told me because she had looked some kind of way, and the way I had moved had reminded her of something that happened. And so when you don't take in consideration of someone's past and the trauma of it, we're in a Bible study series dealing with being healed from your old wounds, from past wounds.
Yeah.
And if you never get to the place to where you can forgive what happened, you can never walk into the place of being forgiven your own self. So how do I get from the place of being victim to the place of being the survivor? I can't be victim and survivor at the same time.
Right.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
And people really get stuck with um, maybe I don't deserve it. Maybe it was my fault. And if we're not sensitive to the person that we're with, there's things to where my wife had to be sensitive with me with. Um, and knowing each other's triggers. You know, my wife and I, we're in a season to where we have to um, just learn how to deal and process without bringing others in it. Um, and where she's literally making me, uh, she was surprised because um, I kind of did like a flip to where I'm more concerned making sure because I hurt her, and I had to make sure that I was playing a key role in the process of her moving forward. And you know, there's people that will hurt someone but don't want to. You played the part in the role of being a hurter, but you don't want to play the part of helping recover who you hurt. You know, and so how can you or what can you say to the man, Rob, um, that may have not realized that you play an important role in helping her recover of what you've done to her?
I would honestly, I would say, um, you know, you have to. My father said something to me years ago, uh, and I was very very close to my father. I mean, he passed about 4 years ago.
Wow.
Still, I miss him every day. I think about him every day. But he said something to me um, years ago um, in uh, during my first marriage, and sometimes it would get a little physical. Now I've never hit. I've always tried to protect myself. Well, I grew up and I would see my father um, once.
Yeah.
Uh, my father put his hands on my mother. And he told me this story when I was in my going through my divorce, or whatever it was, my first, well, my only divorce. And he said, son, he said, I looked over after I put my hands on your mother, and this is in the early part of their marriage. I looked over and I saw your mother, and I looked at the bruise I put on her face. And he said, I had to realize that I was the one who put the bruise there. And although that bruise will eventually heal, I still had to take responsibility of the hurt that I had caused her.
Wow.
And I think about that when we cause hurt to our spouse, and we're not called to cause hurt, we're called to protect.
Yes, sir.
We're called to build hedges around not just our spouses, but our seeds, you know. And when you are the root cause of the hurt, you have to wonder, why didn't you protect? And do you love yourself enough to hurt your spouse? Because in hurting your spouse, and in turn is hurting you. So my advice would be, you have to look at the man in the mirror and realize that the hurt you caused is not going to go away easily, because you still have you have to start building your foundation with bricks and not wood.
Come on.
Wow.
Wood will crumble.
Wow.
But when you start building it with bricks, then your foundation is just as strong. And you realize, especially this, if your wife stays with you out of all of what you've done, are you still going to try and build it with wood or with bricks?
Come on, sir.
Because it shows the growth level of the male when you can start building with bricks, because now you're saying to yourself, I'm cemented where I'm at.
Come on.
I'm not going to move one way or another. The wind can come, the rain can come, the snow can come. All the seasons in life can come, but I'm still rooted and grounded in this cement.
That's good.
Wow.
That is
And when you
good.
can look at your spouse and say, she's still right there with you, then you've got something that God really not ordained to act. By no means am I or condoning abusive relationships, one whatsoever. Nor, this disclaimer, if you are in an abusive relationship, please seek some help. Get out. Look for some counseling. No person deserves to be beat upon. And I'm just using that because it's an easy analogy, you know.
Right.
But there's spiritual abuse, mental abuse, physical abuse, so many different forms of abuse.
Right.
But I would say to that young man or to that grown man, you've got to look in the mirror and ask yourself, why did I do what I do? And how can I repair what I did, if there's something left to be repaired?
Wow. I love that a statement that you made, how regarding the cement. And I was sitting here thinking, it was my wife's forgiveness. It was my wife's reaction that made that cement for me.
Wow.
For so long, I was always like, it don't matter. I was that, I'll figure it out. And you know, I don't mind exposing my healing in a mistake that was made. And there's some people to where they don't talk about how you got where you are and wonder why it is that my wife had asked a question, and now I remember the question she wanted to ask. Her question was, and hopefully that I'm right. She said, "Why is it that marriages don't last like grandmothers did? The grandparent marriages." Am I saying it right?
Yeah.
Why the grandparent marriages don't last as long as our marriages do?
Wow.
And I think one of the main reasons is one, there's no more examples. I said in Bible study last night to the church that one of the greatest fears that I've had that calls me to hurry up and figure out my life and a change is I don't want my kids to inherit their father's failures.
Wow.
And that is the most sensitive thing that any real parent should be looking at. I don't want my kids to take on what I couldn't get rid of.
Wow.
And it's not always a generational thing. Some things had nothing to do with the generation. Some things came on you because the person you decided to sleep with.
That's true.
That attached itself to you.
Yeah.
We have so many people that we have allowed in our life that was never authorized to be in it.
Yeah.
So when you deal with people and places and situations to where you wasn't authorized to allow them in your life, and the reason why that's important is because you was never prepared for the stuff that you've taken on.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Bible said, "Watch who you allow in your camp." And there's been so many times because of lust, because we forgot what courting is, because we forgot what real dating is. We skipped the process of getting to know the person, and we went right to sex and took on things that we can't handle. We got a generational curses, but now we got on stuff that we should never had to deal with because we chose to choose the person that looked good.
That's true.
We decided to choose the person that talked well and looked up and realized you stuck with some demons that you having a hard time to get. Ooh. My wife is not a wife.
You done said something there.
I could truly say this, that my wife is a called wife. You have some women that's married, that's called to be a single person. Let me just, now I know that's not biblical. Let me just say, there is some women to where they are anointed to be a wife.
Yeah. Agreed.
Let me tell you the stuff that my wife has stuck through, went through before and with me had benefited me in so many different ways. No, I can't. My kids, I can't use the word no. I can't. I'm using it wrong. But no slight on anyone before. But let me say this: is that when you marry somebody that was never assigned to you, you're taking away from somebody else's wife.
You are. Oh, boy, you said something there, Bishop.
For real,
that's the truth.
You're in territories. You're in an unauthorized space. You took on something that was never meant for you. And you know y'all ain't got nothing in common. You know you really hate the person. What do you do when you wake up and realize you married somebody else's wife?
Sleeping with the enemy.
Yes.
My Jesus.
Wow, that was good.
For real.
That's good.
What for real? What do you do when you realize that you've been with somebody for 4 or 5 years and you realize either I'm not yours or you ain't mine, but this ain't working.
This ain't it.
That's serious right there.
It ain't for you. And here's the biggest issue that I've had. I've always expected women to change for me to accommodate me. And it wasn't until I had an eye opener for real to where, and I'll say this, and I'm living it, that it's the woman that makes the man step his game up. If the woman let him be a dog, then that's what he's going to be. If the woman let him be non-responsive, don't communicate, come home when he wants to. If the woman don't require the man to step his game up, he will never step it up. We change for her. We're meant to adapt. We're meant to love on, but women nowadays has gotten to the point, and it's sad, society, just how it is, period, is that the women feels like they have to adjust to make sure that they receive the way. I think it's time for the man to do the adjusting. Mel, you look like you just want something so much to say.
Let me interject this. My father told me when Mel and I got engaged. Now, granted, and it's gonna freak you out when I tell you this, and probably gonna freak your audience out too. We knew each other 2 weeks, and I knew this was the one for me. I dropped on one knee. I asked her to marry me. 20 years later, here we are.
Come on, 20 years later. Come on, yes,
eight,
sir.
8 months before, this was 8 months, we got married 8 months later. My father told me, he said, we're sitting at the kitchen table. He was over at my apartment, or I was up at the mountains at his house, something like that. We was drinking coffee or whatever we were doing. And he said to me, he said, Junior, you got to step your game up.
Wow.
And I said, Dad, but he said, no, son. He says, she educated. You can't just come with her with anything. And listen, I've been stepping my game up ever since.
Come on, right. Come on. Yes, sir.
Because you're exactly right. Women will make a man change and adapt to any environment to make sure that woman who took his heart is going to be happy with what you got to offer.
Wow.
I'm trying. Thank you.
Come on, man. I love that. Listen.
Thank you. Go ahead, babe. You was going to say something.
What was we talking about? Oh, what was we talking about? What were we talking about?
That kiss just threw you all off, huh?
It did.
Come on.
I think the thing of it is too, when you were talking about, you were saying something, about being with the right one, and making sure. I think part of it too, and your wife asked the question about why marriages don't last as long. We don't have the examples, and the other thing is too, the culture we live in now.
Wow.
Is very different. Yeah. Very different. Everyone is about gratification right now.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Yes.
Because we live in this we have a generation of people that don't believe they have to work for anything.
Yeah.
And that it's supposed to just happen. And when it's not happening, I'll just move on to the next thing. Yeah. And you can just even look at it in their dating patterns.
Like go to a website.
We see young people date, and you see them literally with one person one day, and next week it's somebody else. Oh, I wasn't feeling that.
Now we have some I don't know if it's us or you guys, but I cannot hear you guys talk. Okay. While they're trying to figure that out, let me say this, that when we get to the place where we can't complete what was given to us, I think we're in a bad place. Mm-hmm. Meaning, I stop caring about how my wife feels. Mm-hmm. I stop caring about how am I reacting? How am I treating her? Am I making sure she's still happy? Those are the questions. Those are the things that I stay with asking, and they're having problems. But if you guys go out and go back in, you should be able to come back. But when you get to the place that, if you ever get to the place where you don't care about how you're making your spouse feel, I think that's just horrible. You know. And if we ever get to the place to where we don't care um, how they feel about us not caring, then I just think that you're in a tough you're in a tough place. I don't care anymore.
Yeah. I think for me, um, like I've been married before, and in that marriage, it was isolation.
Yeah,
Um, uh, it was like I didn't exist when it came to that marriage, and it threw me in a place of loneliness. And so when you step into another relationship or you step into another marriage, the first thing that comes to your mind is you don't want to be lonely. You don't want to be in this by yourself. And for a minute in our marriage, while we were going through that, I felt alone. And I felt like every insecurity I had from a little girl on up in my first marriage and everything hit with it. Because the first thing you say is, it's not supposed to be like this.
Mm-hmm.
What I experienced in one relationship, I'm not supposed to experience in it, especially if I told you about what went on in that relationship. So, how do we get here? And the one thing about my insecurity was I looked at everything as if it was my fault. Like I'm the reason why this happened. I'm not worth it. I'm not this. So while your spouse on this side is going through the stages of I don't know where I'm at. I know that what I'm doing, I don't like it because it's hurting that person, but how do I stop? This person over here is like, I know what you're doing. I see what you're doing. I'm still carrying insecurities. How do I stop? It's about communication with each other. And the one thing about my husband and I, it's weird to say it, I guess. We communicated,
yeah,
but we were communicating about the wrong things.
yeah.
We were not getting to the we wasn't getting in the dirt like we should have been.
I think we was trying to. We both felt to her. We both know that our relationship was in a bad place, and I think we didn't want to step on certain grounds to where it could cause either or to just walk away. And so we didn't touch on certain subjects.
Yeah.
And for me, I think that the biggest mistake that I made uh, is that um, I tried to help her get over the hurt I caused built on lies. Her foundation of moving on was going to be a foundation of lies. And I think I said it last night in a Bible study that that's one of the main reasons why I always tell people that if you're going to move forward and move on, you can't base that on closure, because what if that closure is a bunch of lies?
Wow.
And you said I'm gonna move forward and I'm gonna move on without that closure because I just don't need it, because my progress of bettering me can't be based on you still struggling with being true to yourself.
He told me about what did I say to you? I said that we're at a good space to where we're communicating, and in that communication, I'm learning to. I don't have to say everything to him in an angry way. I don't have to talk to him like this. It's more of, hey, I have something on my mind. And when I say to him, I want to talk about something, it went from him, rolling his eyes like, oh my God, okay, I'm never going to get this. It's never going to be over with. We're doomed, basically. We're stagnating right here. But our communication, thank God, and I thank God for it every day, is that when I have something I need to say to him, uh, I bypass the attitude or bypass the anger, bypass the whatever, because it's nothing like stand in a marriage and carrying the hurt and the anger that you have and waking up to that every morning. It's not even just on the person that has to hear about what you have to say and the attitude or whatever. It's the person that's carrying it, because we have to wake up with our mind on whatever happened, so we can be angry all day, so we can point the finger at you all day, so we can make you feel bad about what has happened. And that puts a hold on your marriage. It puts a hold on decisions that needs to be made, because now you're playing Russian roulette and you want to keep this energy going instead of letting it go. So once we got past that and I was able to talk without anger, it was more of, even in a text, he used to tell me, instead of writing in your journal or writing in your notes how you feel, talk to me. If you can't talk to me verbally, text it to me. So I would text it to him.
Let me explain that. Let me explain that though. And listen, yeah, we only got like 5 minutes left, but listen, let me explain that real quick. Takika was the kind of person, I like to say was, where she would rather write her thoughts in her notes or her journals and her book. Here's the problem. When you do all that writing, you've replaced communication with your spouse with your paper. And so because I knew she was writing, I had to sneak and act like I didn't know where it was at. Go read it. Fix what I did wrong. And she'll look up, now how did he know that was my problem? So
yeah, man, like you was a
I used to say, what's wrong with you? Nothing. I said, all right, in my head, I'm saying, all right, let me wait about an hour or two, let her go disappear. I actually go to the store, just I go to her little hiding spot, go read what she put in there. I said, dang, that's what it was. Okay, let me go on and fix that. And so I finally told her, I said, you know, we could speed up this whole recovery of making sure I'm doing things better and right if you just talk to me and stop using your paper as your, let me be your journal. And I think when we became each other's journal, that has changed the level of community for real. Because if she get it out of her mind, out of her head, and put it in paper, it ain't bothering her no more. But it never gets fixed. But now let's get it out your head and into my ears and implant it into my heart so I can respond quick and correct.
That's rich.
I like that.
That's good.
That's good.
That's amazing. I ain't never looked at that.
You ain't had to read all my stuff.
I'm just saying. But I would never know the level of hurt or the level of anger. She will wake up. We'll have a good night prior. I'll do my job before we go to sleep. I'll do it well. And she'll wake up. Doc, she'll wake up. In World War III, I look at her and one eye and say, what the hell? It's like, what just happened? Now you went to bed happy. And you woke up in your head thinking. I was like, Lord, Jesus, help me. And so it's nothing like trying to fix the marriage, fix the broken part of the relationship, and then fight the invisible conversations that you have no idea of what's going on. So I used to tell her, can y'all tell me what I'm doing now? You know? So listen, we've had great, good talks, and then let me just read these comments, and then I'm gonna let you guys give your final remarks and something that you want to say to the folk. But I love this comment where Cynthia Taylor said, "Amen. I already told you what hurt me. You said you would never do that. I'm confused. This is exactly what you're doing." I think she's speaking from a view of a frustrated woman to her man saying, "You said you wouldn't do it, but you're doing exactly what you said that you wouldn't that you wouldn't do." Tanya said, "Talk to me and not at me." I think for me, that was one of the biggest things I had to get over, was learning how not to talk at my wife, but talk to her. Matter of fact, don't even talk to her. I need to talk to that inner woman and learn how to actually speak to her heart. But listen, we appreciate y'all. I think this is a good show. Yeah. First time coming back. Yeah. Thank you, Rob.
Yeah, we're excited. Thank y'all for having us, man.
We enjoyed
Listen,
it.
we'll have to get you on. Now it'll be a little bit earlier
Oh yeah,
But
because of the time difference.
because the
yeah,
time difference.
yeah.
But we'll have to bring you all on.
On our coffee
Yeah,
chat.
on our coffee chat on a Tuesday.
Tell us about it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So we go ahead.
Now go ahead, bro.
Let the folk know. We like to share our audience.
Okay, so we have, if you
Yeah, you
like
have
our
to.
page, our page is doing marriage with Robin Mill. So if you like and follow the page, but on Tuesday nights we do a live coffee chat, um, and we just talk about different issues that face people can that people couples face. You can send in questions either to
Yeah.
our email or to on the chat while we're talking. But we just discuss things that are relevant. One of the hot topics this summer we talked about was entanglements.
Oh yeah.
I like that.
That was on the forefront of everybody's mind.
Will and Jada.
So we talked about that. So sometimes we'll take stuff, that's a hot topic, or just talk about a lot about connecting. We talked a lot this year about how things worked in the pandemic and how people had to navigate that. So we just pick up different topics and we talk about it. So on Tuesday nights, and so we have had a guest that come through. So we definitely would love to have you all
Yeah.
because we don't know it all by
Come
no
on.
stretch of the imagination, and we all have to help each other out and bring out different perspectives.
Wow.
That's awesome.
I I would love to be on. I think
Yeah.
that
Oh no, y'all coming?
for real. Yeah. And real quick, give a shout out to your church and ministry.
Yeah. Listen, we pastor in uh the greatest church, man, the greatest church family in Lexington, North Carolina. Lexington Christian Fellowship. The ship, that's what we call it, the ship.
Shit. Come on.
And listen, we had a major victory about 2 months ago. I've been in Lexington now for the last 6 years. 5 of those 6 years, I brought to the attention of the ministers' conference there about the removal of the Confederate statue. And it kind of went by the wayside and so forth and so on. But the community banded together over this past summer.
Wow.
People protested every day for 180 days. And we finally got that statue removed.
Awesome.
And this is
Wow.
the second most racial town in North Carolina.
Wow.
The second most racial county in North Carolina. So listen, we are excited, man. We believe in community, and we believe in building positive and fostering good relationships, whether it's with Republicans or Democrats, whites or blacks. We want people to stand up for what the true, unadulterated Word of God is. And I don't want to get into no political stuff tonight because that's a whole nother conversation. But we're doing good, man. Thank you all so much.
Wow, we appreciate you.
For having us, Bishop. It's such an honor, man. It really is.
Yes, it is.
And to your beautiful First Lady, listen.
Thank y'all.
We y'all like transparency. We like transparency too.
Yes.
That's just who we are. We don't know how to be anybody else but who we are. Yeah.
That's the
So
only
God
thing
bless
that helps
you all.
people.
Yeah.
Wow. And listen, I wish I had the clip, but now y'all looking at her, she thinks that girl could throw down preaching for real. And so it's couples like you guys that where we're so comfortable with because we both we have our church, and we I always say she's my co-laborer.
Yes.
She preaches too.
Yes.
We working on the teach. She just don't want to teach nothing. But she leads well. The women appreciate her and love her. It's nothing like being married to being a pastor and married to a wife that the church loves.
Yes.
Come on, thank you.
A
And
good
so,
big
and so we do appreciate that. And listen, y'all, we are here every Friday, 7 o'clock Pacific time, 9 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock Eastern. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook at DT Talks, and then also on Instagram, dee.tee.live, and on YouTube, we are DNT Live. We love y'all.
Love y'all.
Wife, remember this. Oh, thank y'all, Heels. Listen, we're gonna connect.
Thank y'all.
It's awesome. And to all of our guests and people that was logged in, we love y'all.
Wait, first pause.
Go ahead.
You didn't tell me what you was supposed to tell me.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you on the next show.
No.
Y'all want to hear what it is? Y'all got to tune back in next week.
No, sir.
And y'all hear what it is.
No,
Yeah.
No, sir.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
It's a cliffhanger.
You can't do that.
We love y'all. Hey, this your host, D.
You can't do that.
And your girl, T.
You said you was going to tell me.
We out.
You need to tell me. What?